Challenges of the week. What did you face this week that was challenging to you?
Well, good morning, and it is finally Friday. All week we've been discussing men and emotions, and today, as we wrap up our series on men in their emotions, we're thinking about what challenges men face. As we've learned, men do have emotion. They do have them, and we want you to understand them. We want you to be able to accept it and realize that if you are human, you do have emotion. And that's what we are talking about. You came up once. You might want to try that again, talking to my co-host. Because I don't see you here. So, yeah, yeah. Hope everyone is safe and rested. Or are you? It is Friday, and for all of you that have been enjoying this on Men and Challenges, I want to say thank you. You can still weigh in if you'd like to. Sound off, good morning. For those of you coming in, good morning. And for those of you that were here live the other day, I want to apologize to you in case I did not see your comments on air. Personal apology is always something I want to say. We get to see you guys, and there are some times when we are talking and we're in different positions in home studio and we don't see you. And that's not by choice, so we apologize in advance. Men facing challenges. I like this quote. Being a better man requires embracing challenges, developing self-awareness, pursuing personal growth. It's a journey of overcoming adversity and becoming the best version of yourself. So I want you guys to think about that. Good morning for those of you who are coming in. If this is your first time at Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, the blueprint or the blue writing up top, please click on that and join our YouTube channels and our other social medias. We say good morning to you. And to you, Trish, I say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. We're always changing devices and things, so we want to talk about men. So far, Trish, and this requires all honesty on all of your part, how have you guys been feeling about our series on men and emotion? Your honest thought, Trish.
I have been feeling very educated this week, and I have been also feeling empathy and I'd say understanding towards how men react in their emotions and their mental health. So that's how I've been feeling.
Love it. And it has helped me to understand men more, uh, that they don't speak a different language, and that as women, we need to help them to understand. When they can understand themselves better, they can give us the best to understand us. Remember that, women, because we say, he doesn't understand, and he says, she doesn't understand. Well, understanding of oneself brings understanding of each other. And that's what we do here at Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. And we're talking about men and emotions. But now, as we talk about men and emotions, what are men and challenges? What do you think a man's challenge would be? And for those of you who are in the audience, what do you guys think some of the men's challenges would be as you think about challenging yourself, your past and present? By the way, we are accepting your phone calls. Uh, what do you think their challenges would be? What do you guys think? You think men are challenged with things? We've looked at emotions. And by the way, challenges are the experiences that men face. Do you think men have things that they worry about? You remember when we were talking about the cave, men cave, and them having certain things that they're concerned about? Anybody remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. They're faced with challenges. Let's not take that for granted. Men, oftentimes, and we touched on this before, we say they're breadwinners. With the cost of economy, do you think they worry about being the breadwinner, being able to financially care for themselves? What do you all think about that? Do you think they think about that? If you're sitting there and you're a man, we want to hear from you. Do you think men worry about their children, being fathers, and how are they going to care for? They worry just like we do. Men in relationships. Do you think that they think about their relationships? And oftentimes, when they are thinking about relationships, because they're thinking about the relationship, perhaps they're going to get into the next relationship and bring that baggage with them. If women do it, so can the men. Did you guys know that? It's really something to think about in relationships. What are some other things? And if you are a man, our lines are open. We want to hear from you. We've looked at uh, men. A lot of times as women, as we look at the anatomy, the outside of a man, and we judge from our perspective. perspective of what our eye sees. But can we get beyond that? Can we look at a man and say, he has feelings too? And I hope that every man that is out there, every son, every father, every uncle, brother, nephew, I hope that this series on men and emotion will help you to understand yourself better. And if you're in any relationships or if you're still trying to figure it out, we've recorded and we are recording the information that we're sending to you all. We're recording that so that you get to sit down, you get to listen for your pleasure of listening, because I'm going to tell you something. How many times have you heard something and when you hear it again, you might have new light, new insight on the information? Well, that's what this is here for. How do we become able to better challenge ourselves? Challenging yourself is to be able to bring awareness. Challenging yourself is not always a bad thing. It could be for you a really great thing, new developments, new passions, new horizons. But challenging yourself is never a bad thing. Oh, and if you fear of challenging yourself, always remember, how will you know if you've never tried to become that better man? You see, because a lot of times we look at a man and we look at the stature of a man without really considering the inside of a man. And so today's song that I chose speaks about that if you really listen to the lyrics. What kind of man are you? Just because you're walking around with a six-pack built body, does that mean you're all the man that you can be? You know, something that I really appreciated, Trish, is you talking about uh, the strength and how you were speaking of the men in your life, your brothers, your father, helping you when you couldn't pick up a box. See, we look at that strength and we say, use your muscle, use your muscle. But we want to use the organ and the muscle of our mindset. Speaking to you men. Now, you probably have said, well, what does she know? She's not a man. And you're right. We are not men. But we are giving you a look at something to think about, because we know that this is going to help someone. This is going to help someone feel more challenged. Now, I'm going to tell you something. How many of us feel like we need to set challenges for ourselves? Anybody out there? Every day that you wake up should be a new challenge. Maybe you're sitting there and you say, I don't need to challenge myself. Because guess what? I'm already in shape. But as you challenge yourself, as you attempt to challenge yourself, you become improved. We saw a vision of a man, the stature of a man lifting weights. Did you see beyond that? That man, in order to get in shape, he had to do it every day. And oh, does it become something that you say, I'm complete? Every day is a day for us to work on the project of ourselves. You never entirely finish. But you will start something with the experience of looking back saying, I've done that, I've challenged it. Your journeys of being able to overcome the things that you could not when you chose not to get your mind and soul in shape. See, because you can have a stature. You're a nanny, the outside. You says not in fit, not in shape, not improved. What do you have? We want you to think about that as you will continue in your lifetime. Because the more that we improve ourselves, the more successful our mindset will be. If you've got nothing else, no riches, no financial, your mindset, you should be able to protect. This morning, as I was looking to find out what would best describe today's challenge of a man, I thought an armor, but that takes away from the visual face of a man. See, our protection comes from our strength and how we use it. When you practice something, you're going to gain momentum. Remember, we talked about that. Gaining momentum, you're going to catch up. First time you do it, it may be the hardest. Then you repeat it a different day. You start to align yourself to getting in shape. And then you say on another day, wow, this is getting easy. Let not fear hold you back. The lion, as you see, Friday is always about what we're facing. And we never want to take for granted that the men face so many emotions. You don't have to be a man to hear the man in your life or the men in your life say what they're going through. But you men, I encourage you, speak up. For you're not silent. You are ready to face the battle. Don't be afraid of what will come afterwards. Just keep fighting. How many of you saw begrudgingly because you had to take your children or because your children watched Finding Nemo? There's a little part in there that Dory says. Do we remember it? Just keep swimming. We can't get that out of our heads. But now if we internalize that and say, just keep going, that is the strength that we will gain in momentum of getting in shape. Will we face problems? Oh, yeah. Lots and lots of it. But today is all about fighting. Today is all about boxing your way into life's journey, stepping into the ring of life. And oh, yeah, men love sport. When the goal is in the national football, when they are fighting for the championship is to score and score and get that touchdown. See, in life, we have many touchdowns. But in life, we also have touch-ups where we're improving ourselves. And you men who can't live without the women because, women, myself, I've said, I can't live without a man. You can do it. In fact, I encourage you in the next relationship, know more about the kind of men that you want to be for the next relationship. If you're already in a long time relationship, that song, What Kind of Man Would I Be, really talks about that. Being the best man that you could possibly be. This week wasn't hard to find songs. In fact, I enjoyed it because it really helped you to understand a man's perspective. No, Trisha's not a man. I'm not a man. But through those lyrics, you understand what a man is saying. Aren't songs best at describing your emotions? So the next time you look at your father, the next time you look at your brother, your son, your nephew, whatever man you're looking at, I want you to think about prospectively that man. Get beyond the stature of a man. And I know you women out there, we say, well, we don't want to marry somebody or to be with somebody who looks just like this. Me, myself, I love a well-polished man. But am I well-polished? Or I like a man that's seeking to improve himself. Because, we always say, well, he don't have no money. But do we have money? Let's challenge ourselves to challenge each other. Let's be the type of people the next time that we are in relationships, or the more that we are in a relationship right now, let's challenge each other to reach goals together. Sometimes men face in couple relationships not being on the same page. How many relationships out there, and you have looked and you've said, we're like two ships in the night going in different directions. Challenge yourself to be on the same page. We use words like, do you follow me? Are we on the same page? Because what we're asking is, do you understand? Do you hear me? Too many times we have not challenged ourselves. We settle for less. And if there's any men out there that are settling for less, I want you to do just as the women do. Improve yourself to improve relationships. We're not getting into the statistics of a man because I am not a doctor. However, I am a certified life wellness coach. And if there are any possibilities of a man out there, think about the challenges that you're facing right now. And there are challenges. There are men who have full custody of their children and have to do some of the same things that women as mommies and mothers are doing. I want you to put yourself in that shoe. There are men who are really breadwinners for themselves in that they go to work every day. But do you think that they get tired, they're tired, they feel stressed, they need their space? We want to say good morning to all of you who are coming in. Good morning, Raven. Good morning, as we talk about the challenges that we're facing. And we're wrapping up the series on men and emotions. We owe it to you, male species, human, to give our attention to how do you feel. See, this is not a woman show just because there are women who host and co-host. We are concerned about the men's emotions and health. Because it's one thing to have a man that looks good, but how about a man that feels great too? How many of you are getting that part? And because we've we've recorded this, we hope that your challenges are one that are going to one that are going to develop you into the type of man that you want to become. Not one that you have to ask, what kind of man do you want me to be? But this is the man that I am. Let no one take that from you. I want to talk to the women just for a moment because I do know about that. You know, when I see women overpower a man, it is one of the most vilest things for me that I've ever saw with my mind's eye. Because you know what you've done when you have overpowered that man in your words, in your conduct. You have dismissed him as a whole man. Oh, that's not the man you want? Well, think about what makes a man. You know, they say for every good man, there's one. And that when he co-partners with someone in working on goals together, oh, that's the best man to me. Because today what happens is the man has become demoralized. You've seen it all throughout TV. Stop doing that to your man. Give him space to grow. Give him ideas so that you can create. Listen when he speaks. Hear when you listen. What do I mean by that? Hear when you listen. You know that thing when he's talking to you and you say, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And then he stops in the conversation and he says, what did I just say? And you're stunned. Why? Because you weren't listening. So when he speaks, take a moment, look up, and listen. Respecting each other is always good when other people see that you respect each other. You know, men may be unfaithful in relationship just as women are unfaithful. learn the trust with one another, learn the communication styles with one another, learn the love language with one another. And I'll tell you what, you're going to thank me later. Good morning and welcome to our program on Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. We're talking about men. All this week, we have recorded about men and their emotions. And we're so glad that you're with us. Where are you listening in from? Talking to our live audience. Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast is always Japan. Thank you so much. We love it. Thank you, thank you. All the way from Japan. We're asking the question today, what challenges are you facing as a man or as a woman? What challenges have you faced and are you still working on? I want to thank you all for being here. It means so much to Trish and I as we cover series, as we cover information. We're working hard. Since you all are here, we want you to tap on to the blue writing up top left corner if you're on and you see it. We want you to, I think you're going to love what you see. Ray. Ray says, good morning, everyone. Ray, my personal apology to you for yesterday because you were so interactive with us yesterday and I failed to see it because I was hosting from another part, another location. So it was difficult for me to see. My apologies to you. You said, did he miss anything? And he's trying hard to be perfect. Well, don't try hard to be perfect because you'll never meet that goal. Love that. Can everyone hear me okay? I'm hoping so.
I can hear you.
What are we going to take home to our sons, our fathers, our husbands, our other counterparts? What do we learn from this? Because, nobody has said, you guys don't pay attention to men. You're always talking about women, but really we're not. We're talking about every emotion that has he, her, she, they, them. Because what I've learned is that the man has feelings too. What I've learned here from this series on men is that the men has to conquer challenges. And Ray says it's okay. Even if you don't feel like you're loved by the world. We want the men in our lives to become strong. Not only in stature, but in mindset. We want a man that is sure of himself. People say I'm picky. No, I'm not picky. Because back then in life, it was all about being cute, how cute you were. I like a charming man, a man that can make me laugh. But I also like a man that when we're getting down to the business of the business and we're staying on business, a man that knows his business. In other words, a man that knows his purpose. And I like the man that knows exactly what he wants to do. Not, oh, somehow Vibe Talk has strengthened a lot of men who have come in here. If you don't feel that way, you can get a one-on-one with me and we'll talk about some things that you will discover. I love it when I'm talking to clients and I'll ask them questions and they don't know why I'm asking the question because they're trying to figure it out, but I don't need them to figure it out because the questions that I'm asking is going to access them. They hold the key to the real answer. So it isn't me doing the work, it's you being able to do your own work. And I love that. I love for a man to show me that he's improving. You know, when a man says, how? And a man asks me that, how do you want me to improve? Well, I don't have the answers. But if you're asking me, how sincere are you going to be to improve yourself because it's not up to me? In relationships, you can look at a relationship and you wonder, how did those two people ever meet? How many of you have ever done that? You've seen couples and you say, my God, how did they get together? Something brought those two together, and then along the way, they just meshed together. They argue, they fight. One separated, the other is on a whole different level. And you wonder, gosh, do you have couples like that in your life? You wonder, what in the world is going on? And the reason you wonder that, because you're the person, you're the go-to. You're the go-to when they start this. And you wonder, what in the world are they even doing together? You wonder that too, Ray? Yeah, they should wonder that themselves. What in the world? But you see them settling for nothing. Settling for less than. I want to tell you something. Ray says, walk with a smile and strong sense of confidence and had wisdom when you get it. I like that, Ray. Wisdom when you get it. Some people, some men stay in relationships. Some men have been in abusive relationship. It's not all about the woman being hit on, beat on. And when I say hit on, I really mean like that. There are women out there who will berate a man. There are mothers out there who will berate their sons. And sometimes I can get very ugly with my kids. When I look at them, they're handsome young men. Even this has made me think to approach things a different way. Your sons are not born king until you teach them how to be men. Because personally, I can't stand when a woman says, my son is king. His name might be King, but I assure you, he's no king. You want them to know how to take the lead. You want them to be strong role models. It starts from them learning from their mother. Here's another thing I can't stand. When a man has been raised by women or a woman, someone said, oh, he's going to grow up this way. You all know what I'm talking about. Yes, let's go there. Because we say that. And then we say about that man, oh, he's acting like a girl. I don't know if they say sissies anymore, but you know what you all say. Let's stop doing that. Let's start helping our sons, our husbands, our significant others to grow into the space by encouraging them, by not always choosing for them. Because it would be like you going out to a restaurant, and this has actually happened to someone. You go to a restaurant and you say, I'm going to order, and you order for her. Don't do that. And you women, don't do that. Because that's what it's like when you berate them. You get to choose everything for them. Let the man always play into your relationship. I don't think it's funny when I see a woman rule a man. That's not funny to me. I don't think it's funny when I see a man berate a woman. There's work to be done. Is what this podcast is all about. And when you start the work on the challenges, boy, people say, wow, look at that man. Everybody wants him. Why? Because he's demonstrated the challenges that he's had to face. And when you come to Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast, we're not going to tell you what to do. You're going to be able to discover. If you're following us, then you say, oh, I have discovered that about myself. Oh, I need to work on this. And then you want more and more of Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. And that's why we encourage you to keep talking to us. Keep it coming. Our audience member Ray says, I never understood that at all. Like I trying to make the best decision in a respectful way. Hope you meet me all the way and respect my choices and not make me feel bad about it. Thank you, Ray, for sounding off with us. We're going to start calling this sounding off because that's from a man not making choices for him. You heard it from a man because you belittled them in some way. And as I look back in my life, I've said things to my son, and you kind of wish, wow, I could redo that conversation. But tomorrow, time flies by, so what you have to do is do better next time. The do betters are always your improving. Being aware, staying aware of yourself. Never letting a man, woman, or anybody else take you from what is truth about you. Never demising you. Never taking away from your true characters. We're going to be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. We're going to be back with Trisha's Treasures. And Ray, I got your comment coming right up. We'll be right back. We're back, and before we go to Trisha's Treasures, I just want to honor Ray and read his comment. He says, even if he made a bad decision, he already knew he messed up, he'll just do better next time. And might I add with that, it's okay, male, that you make a mistake. You aren't perfect. We're going to turn it over to Trisha's Treasures. Trish?
Something I thought about was when us girls are going to the prom, and the first thing the dad says to the guy, our date, he always says, make sure you respect my daughter. She's a young lady. They always try to put that perspective in the guy's mind, in the young dude's mind. And I just think about they both should respect each other. Like, she should also respect him and his boundaries. And I see it like a wedding when the father walks his daughter down the aisle and he's giving her to him to protect. And I think because the father did that for his daughter, I feel like that's a sign of respect. That's a sign of trust towards the guy protecting the daughter and treating her well. And treating and her treating the man well, because they have emotions too. And what puts man and women on ground level is the fact that we are human. And because we are human, we should have respect for one another. We should try to listen to one another. And we should try to understand that, yes, we go through couple things, but we also go through personal things. And when a man is going through something personally, I think of what I read, a quote from Sidney Poitier. He was talking about how when a man becomes a man, he goes through ups and downs, and that's important into becoming a man. And he also adds the symbolization of in Africa before uh, the little boys become men, they they symbolize the hardships and transformation by putting ashes as the mark of transformation in becoming a man. So he was saying that to say, no matter the ashes and the rock bottoms that we go through, as that they go through as young men, at the end of the day, that doesn't make them less of a man when they go through something. It also helps them realize the more challenges they go through, the more trials they go through, the more downs and ups they go through, that shapes them into the man they are supposed to be. So let your challenges shape you into the man you are supposed to be. And it is all a choice. It's up to you who you want to be. So make that choice.
Thank you so much for that. Wow. Thank you. Uh, you want more of Trisha's Treasures, you can hashtag that or just type it in. Um, at Trisha's Treasures, Trisha's responsible for our opening and closing music and our music at Vibe Talk After Dark, which happens Saturday, and I found a time for it, ladies and gentlemen. 8 p.m. Saturdays. And that's California time. 8 p.m. We hope that you'll join us as I host Vibe Talk After Dark, all about music and healing. Um, Ray says, pain makes you stronger in a sense, except those are personal challenges every man faces. Okay, thank you for that, Ray. In a wrap, I'd like for you all to think about men. No, you don't have to face what they face, or do you? Here's some things that challenge men: anxiety, depression, stress, fatherhood, financial obligations. Wow, is that enough for you? Yeah, domestic violence. See, because we always say, well, we experience that. Men experience it too. Men have been violently abused. And it's not just talking about uh, men being slapped or hit, mental and emotional abuse. I would like to let you all know before we go is that I will be doing a series on, or it's going to be an after discussion, and I'm going to put it on our podcast page, and it will be out soon because I think that there are still some things that we need to discuss, and you'll get it on our podcast, okay, where we record all of our podcasts. So it will be out soon. I want you to look forward to that, dealing with men's issues, because I think men are so silent when they're facing these abuses. They don't want to tell anybody that their wife is abusing them or their women are abusing them. They too are dealing with it. These are challenges for them: lack of respect, loneliness, self-doubt, lacking direction in life. Let's think about that. I want to thank each and every one of you. Why do I want to thank you? Because you're bold to come in here. Ray, we thank you for being in here. Um, Ray says, do relationships or friendships count? Yeah, yeah. So we're going to have a afterthought, and I want you guys to look forward to it coming. I will let you know when it's out, okay? Because I think you all need to hear it. If you've got friends, if you've got fathers, I would warmly invite you to have them sit down and listen. Because we do care. Your mental and emotional health. In fact, all of you should be looking for that. What shape is it in? Because there's nothing like a well-rounded man. To you, I bid you all a great, safe weekend. Whatever you're doing, be safe. Come spend an hour with me at Vibe Talk After Dark, where we'll play music. And go listen to us now. Join our YouTube page. It is on our social media. Yes. Listen to what we've been doing at Vibe Talk After Dark. If you like the music, if there's something you want to hear, if there is a dedication request, and even if you just want to say hello to us, you can call in or be on our social media. We'll meet you back here 8 p.m. on Saturdays. Wherever you are, tune in to our Instagram and our Facebook pages. We'll see you next time, and thank you for facing the lions with us all weekend long as we focused on men and their emotions. We're so glad that you hung out with us. And a special thank you to my co-host. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Facing the lion is always positive. And so I ask you today, as we are going to be facing our lions or challenges of the week, what did you face this week that was challenging